Welcome back to Half Haunted, the podcast where history meets the supernatural. I'm your host, Candi, and as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Raji.
Hey, everybody. Tonight, we set sail into the eerie and unexplained and the downright chilling as we uncover the haunting history of one of the most paranormally active locations in the world, the RMS Queen Mary.
Once hailed as the stateliest ship afloat, the Queen Mary was a marvel of luxury and elegance. She hosted celebrities, royalty, and dignitaries across the Atlantic with unparalleled grandeur. Beneath the lavish decor and the first-class service, there lies a much darker story.
That's right. Beyond her glitz and glamour, the Queen Mary also served as a wartime transport, carrying over 800,000 soldiers into battle during World War II. She was known as the Grey Ghost because of her speed and her stealth. But the war takes a toll, and many believe the ship's time in battle, combined with the tragedies that occurred on board, have left an indelible mark on that transcends time itself.
Now permanently docked in Long Beach, California, the Queen Mary is said to be the home of more than 600 ghosts. That makes it one of the most haunted locations in the world.
But why? What fuels this spectral energy? Could it be the lingering echoes of lives lost aboard, or was something else awakened when she transitioned from an ocean liner to a floating hotel?
And let's not forget, the ship has witnessed everything from violent death to wartime disaster. Visitors today report seeing shadowy figures in the corridors, hearing phantom footsteps, and even smelling the ghost scent of cigars in areas once occupied by Winston Churchill himself.
The hauntings aboard the Queen Mary are diverse. Some spirits seem playful, like little Jackie near the first-class swimming pool, while others, like the ominous Fedora Dude, evoke pure dread.
And then there are the tragic figures, the lost souls still searching for something that they will never find, the sailors of the HMS Caraco, who perished in the icy waters after Queen Mary accidentally sliced their ship in half. The crewmen crushed by door 13, the shadow people who seem to defy all explanations.
There's a theory that the Queen Mary never truly stopped sailing. She just crossed into another realm. Maybe time doesn't work the same way aboard this ship. Maybe the spirits aboard are still living out their final moments, endlessly repeating the past.
Tonight, we invite you to step aboard the Queen Mary with us. Imagine walking the dimly lit corridors, the thick air with history, the temperature dropping as you pass through unseen energies. You hear a whisper, except no one's there. A shadow moves at the end of the hall, but when you turn the corner, nothing.
So turn off the light, settle in, and prepare for a voyage into the unknown.
Because on the Queen Mary, the past is truly never the past. And if you listen closely, you just might hear it calling out to you. All right. So the RMS Queen Mary was more than just a luxury liner. She was a symbol of prestige, power, and wartime resilience. Launched in 1936, she was the pinnacle of opulence, hosting the world's elite, from Hollywood stars to British royalty. During World War II, she was transformed into the Grey Ghost, a massive troop ship that ferried over 800,000 soldiers into battle. Alongside her grandeur, she carries a history of tragedy, from onboard accidents and suicides to wartime disasters. Some say the ship's glamorous past is overshadowed by the spirits who never left. One of the ship's darkest moments unfolded in 1942 when she collided with the HMS Caraco, a British escort ship. The Queen Mary, moving at full speed under strict wartime orders, sliced the ship in half, killing over 300 sailors instantly. Bound by military protocol, she was forbidden from stopping, leaving the survivors to perish in the icy waters. To this day, visitors report hearing phantom screams and cries for help, an eerie echo of the lost sailors' final moments trapped in the endless loop of ghostly distress. In 1967, the Queen Mary was permanently retired and converted into a hotel and tourist attraction. Many believe this renovation disturbed long-dormant spirits, escalating paranormal activity aboard the ship. During construction, workers reported tools vanishing mysteriously, disembodied voices calling their names, shadowy figures lurking in the corridors. Psychic investigator Peter James estimated that 600 spirits call the ship home, many yet to be discovered. The Queen Mary is home to some of the most famous ghosts in paranormal history. The Lady in White, an elegant ghost forever waltzing through the ship's past. John Pedler, the crewman tragically crushed by watertight door 13. John Henry, the spirit of a stoker forever tied to the ship's industrial past. Jackie, the playful child spirit who still giggles by the first-class pool. Decades of ghost hunting investigations have yielded astonishing evidence, including EVPs capturing disembodied voices, full-bodied apparitions caught on camera, unexplained noise, shadow figures, and sudden temperature drop. Even skeptics struggle to explain the sheer number of consistent reports over the years. The Queen Mary is a ship frozen in time where the past refuses to rest and the spirits refuse to leave. For some, she remains a symbol of elegance and history. For others, she's one of the most paranormally active locations in the world. The only way to know for sure, step aboard and listen. I've actually been on the ship and have taken a ghost tour, and I agree with this. It's haunted for sure. For sure.
It is, and at times it's weirdly silent, though there's lots of people touring.
And the corridor, the hallways look the same. Like you would easily get lost there.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. All right. Among the many spectral residents of the Queen Mary, few are as cherished as Jackie Torrin. Unlike the ship's more eerie apparitions, Jackie is known for a playful and curious nature, captivating visitors and paranormal investigators alike. Jackie's presence was first documented in 1991 by psychic Peter James during an investigation of the ship's Royal Theater. In a remarkable moment, she responded directly to James's questions for over 10 minutes, a rare and compelling event in paranormal research. Though widely believed to have drowned in the ship's second-class pool, no official records confirm this tragic event. Despite the mystery surrounding her death, Jackie's ghostly presence is undeniable. Jackie is most often encountered near the first-class swimming pool, where visitors report giggling and splashing sounds through the empty pool, disembodied humming of nursery rhymes, direct EVP responses, including Jackie saying no when asked if she was alone, physical interactions such as flickering lights and guests feeling small, cold hands brush against them. Unlike many spirits that invoke fear, Jackie's presence invokes compassion and warmth. Jackie seems to have informed the ghostly family aboard the Queen Mary, interacting with other spirits. A mysterious woman in a flowing white dress, often seen near the pool, believed to act as Jackie's guardian. Sarah, another young girl spirit, sometimes heard singing with Jackie. Grumpy and aggressive entity who appears to guard the pool area, Jackie appears to avoid him. These spectral connections suggest Jackie has found companionship beyond death. Jackie's true origins remain unknown. No records exist of a drowning incident on the Queen Mary, leading to several theories. She may have been a child passenger during the ship's post-WW2 war bride transport. Some believe the first-class pool is a paranormal vortex attracting spirits from different times and places, meaning Jackie may have died or may have not died on the ship at all. Jackie remains one of the most well-documented and beloved spirits aboard the Queen Mary. Paranormal evidence includes audio recordings of her calling for her mother. Documented encounters feature her voice, giggles, and interactive presence. Unlike traditional hauntings that inspire fear, Jackie's story leaves visitors with a sense of empathy and wonder. Is Jackie's lost, forever searching for something she'll never find? Or has she simply found a place she never wants to leave? One thing is certain, when you hear the echo of playful laughter aboard the Queen Mary, you may not be alone.
Yeah, when I went down to the pool area, you definitely feel different. I mean, that's how I felt anyway. I don't know if other people have felt the same way, but you feel like it's different down there. You know something's down there. And there's supposed to be a portal somewhere down there in the restroom area. There's been stories, but It's a nice place. It's a nice area. Grumpy, among many spirits said to roam the RMS Queen Mary, there are few as intimidating as Grumpy the Growling Ghost. Unlike the playful Jackie or the protective Sarah, Grumpy's presence excludes unease marked by deep guttural growls and the lingering scent of phantom cigar smoke. Grumpy was first identified by Bob Davis of Planet Paranormal and has since become one of the most infamous spirits aboard the ship. He is often encountered beneath the stairs in the first-class pool area, a hotspot for paranormal activity, in the hallways, and in the green room beneath the pool. Though disembodied growls and heavy footsteps often startle visitors, though frightening, his antics sometimes amuse investigators. Grumpy's true identity remains unknown, but three dominant theories attempt to explain his origins. A former ship captain, his stern nature and authoritative energy could suggest he once commanded the Queen Mary. A criminal passenger, some believe he may have committed a terrible crime, possibly murder, and remains on board, trapped by fear and guilt. Or a wartime casualty, the Queen Mary served as a troop transport during World War II, and some speculate Grumpy died in combat or as part of the onboard tragedy. Regardless of his past, Grumpy's intense, unsettling presence distinguishes him from the ship's other spirits. Grumpy is no ordinary ghost. Unlike the spirits who communicate through whispers or apparitions, Grumpy manifests in primal, chilling ways. Deep, animalistic growls echo from the empty rooms and beneath the staircases. A sudden, overwhelming scent of cigars, despite smoking being banned for years. Elusive nature, unlike Jackie, who actively interacts with guests, or Sarah, who serves as a guardian, Grumpy appears only when he chooses. Grumpy remains one of the Queen Mary's most perplexing and chilling spirits. Is he a lost soul, a remnant of the ship's dark past, or something far more sinister? But the biggest mystery of all, is Grumpy growling to scare visitors away, or is he trying to tell us something we have yet to understand? I would not want to hear growling anywhere on that ship.
No.
Growling creeps me out.
I prefer not.
Yep, no thanks.
I agree. Among the most tragic and unsettling spirits aboard the RMS Queen Mary is that of Senior Second Officer William Eric Stark. His agonizing death left behind an eerie presence that continues to haunt the ship. Visitors report choking sounds, shadowy figures, and an ominous presence near the captain's quarters. Some even believe that Stark may be Grumpy the Growling Ghost, the infamous and gruff entity said to linger aboard the ship. William Eric Stark's bizarre and painful demise is one of the most tragic incidents in the Queen Mary history. As senior second officer, he was responsible for navigational duties and ship operations. One night, Stark poured himself a drink, believing it to be gin, but the bottle actually contained tetrahydrochloride, a highly toxic cleaning solvent. Woo! Could you not smell it, or did they smell the same? But anyway, the mistake was unintentional, as the bottle had been delivered by a well-meaning steward. Despite immediate medical intervention, Stark suffered for days, enduring internal damage, labored breathing, and agonizing choking fits. His prolonged suffering has led many to believe that his spirit never left the ship. Over the years, visitors and crew members have reported chilling encounters with Stark's ghost, particularly in his former workspace. Guests report shadowy figures in the dimly lit corridors. Near the captain's quarters, unseen hands brushing against guests, and some report an overwhelming wave of nausea, mirroring the effects of poisoning. Hallways and the green room, the most terrifying reports come from here, where guests hear choking, gasping, and labored breathing as if Stark's final moments are playing on an endless loop. That's horrible. Could Stark's spirit be responsible for these haunting experiences, or could he have become something even more unsettling? Some paranormal investigators believe William Stark and Grumpy the Growling Ghost are actually one and the same. Both spirits are reclusive and gruff. Stark was a no-nonsense officer, while Grumpy is known for growling at visitors. The strong scent of cigar smoke, often linked to Grumpy, could be tied to Stark's time as an officer, when smoking was common aboard the ship. Grumpy's unpredictable presence near the pool area and green room suggests a restless entity wandering the ship, similar to Stark's reported ghostly manifestations. Could Stark's tragic prolonged death have left him angry, confused, and unable to cross over? The story of William Stark is one of tragedy and mystery, whether his spirit is seeking closure or has become Grumpy, the growling ghost. His presence aboard the Queen Mary endures. Is he searching for his lost Jen? Or is he warning visitors not to repeat his fatal mistake? One thing is certain, when you hear choking sounds echoing through the Queen Mary's corridors, you may be listening to William Stark's final moments, forever trapped in time. That's terrible.
I think it is terrible, but I think they could be the same people, the Grumpy, and they're too similar. I think
he might be frustrated.
Yeah, I think they're the same ghosts. So
it's possible.
I mean, it sounds like they are. It's possible.
And it's not growling. It's probably him trying to clear his throat.
Yeah,
poison
like that,
And you're smoking, so you sound like a mom. Who knows? He's probably just frustrated because he's trying to say something and he can't.
Exactly. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Among the many ghosts set to linger aboard the Queen Mary, few are as active and interactive as John Pedler. His story is one of tragedy, mystery, and mischief, making him one of the ship's most frequent encountered spirits. Is Pedler trapped in a ghostly loop, forever reliving his final moments, or does he actively seek out visitors, particularly women, in his afterlife? In 1966, 18-year-old crewman John Pedler lost his life in one of the most gruesome accidents aboard the Queen Mary. During a routine watertight door drill, Pedler participated in what some believe was a dangerous game of chicken, testing his reflexes against the ship's massive watertight doors. Door number 13, located in the engine room, was one of the most hazardous locations during these drills. In a tragic miscalculation, Pedler failed to escape in time and was crushed by the enormous steel door. His mangled body was discovered moments later, marking the end of his life, but possibly beginning one of the Queen Mary's most enduring hauntings. Since his death, Pedler's ghost refuses to leave the ship, with countless chilling encounters reported near door 13. Guests and crew members have seen a young man in a crewman's uniform, only for him to vanish suddenly. Paranormal investigators have captured EVPs of moans, cries, and faint whispers echoing in the corridor. Visitors experience sudden, drastic temperature drops, as if Pedler's presence is passing through them. Unlike residual hauntings where a ghost endlessly replays its death, Pedler actively interacts with guests, especially women. Unlike some of the darker spirits aboard Queen Mary, Pedler's ghost is known for his mischievous and playful nature. Women often report gentle touches on their hair and neck when near door 13. Some visitors feel a soft breath against their skin, as if someone is standing inches away. Guests describe the sensation of being brushed against or lightly touched, even when no one else is nearby. Pedler's presence is both unsettling and strangely charming, making him one of the ship's most frequently encountered spirits. While John Pedler's tragic accident is well documented, some believe he is not alone in the engine room. Another story suggests that door 13 is also haunted by a different spirit, John Mackenzie, a wartime crew member allegedly murdered aboard the ship. Some reports claim that Mackenzie was killed in the engine room during World War II, though historical records remain unclear. Paranormal investigators note a different energy. Pedler's presence is often playful and engaging. Mackenzie's presence feels darker and more ominous. Could two spirits be competing for attention in the ship's most infamous corridor? Or does Pedler's tragic death overshadow another long-forgotten ghost? John Pedler's ghost is more than just a legend. He is one of the most frequently encountered spirits aboard the Queen Mary, leaving a lasting impression on those who cross his path. Was this a tragic death, a careless accident, or was there more to the story? Is he truly alone in the engine room, or does he share his space with another lost soul forever trapped behind door number 13? Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain, John Pedler is still aboard the Queen Mary. I've been down in that engine room. The ghost tour that they have takes you down there. Doors are heavy as shit.
Yes.
I would not try to be playing chicken with that, but I could see if that's where he died tragically, he would still be, but I didn't really feel anything down there. But it was kind of the ghost tour I was on. They had like haunted music in the background. It was kind of kooky almost. I'm just like, why? Just have
Yeah.
them in a ghost tour, know their history, and then let the people experience them. But I enjoyed it. I mean, it was interesting to be in an engine room in a ship like that.
Exactly. During World War II, the Queen Mary transformed from a luxurious ocean liner into a wartime troop transport known as the Grey Ghost. She carried thousands of soldiers across treacherous waters, evading many enemy submarines and aerial attacks while navigating the Indian Ocean and Mediterranean Sea. Life aboard was brutal, with suffocating heat, dehydration, and exhaustion pushing soldiers to their limits. Some never made it to their destinations. Among the lost souls aboard the Queen Mary, Jack and Terence are believed to be two such men, their spirits lingering long after their fateful journey. Unlike traditional cold spots or whispers, Jack and Terence bring something else, a wave of heat wherever they appear. Paranormal investigators and visitors have documented several recurring signs of Jack and Terence's presence. Sudden, unexplained warmth, especially in the first-class pool area, even in sections of the ship that are normally cold. Hearing their names spoken aloud, seemingly from nowhere. Playful interactions such as the gentle tugs on guest shirts or unseen brushes against them. EVP, which is electronic voice phenomena, recordings capturing faint male voices, though their words remain unclear. Unlike some of the ship's more ominous spirits, Jack and Terence seem lighthearted, as if still clinging to the camaraderie and brotherhood they shared in life. The lingering presence of Jack and Terence has led to several paranormal theories. An energetic imprint. Their extreme physical suffering aboard the Queen Mary may have left a residual energy, causing their final moments to replay like a ghostly echo. Many believe Jack and Terence were aware of their surroundings, deliberately interacting with the living through whispers, playful tugs, and bursts of heat. Unexplained deaths. Some speculate that heat stroke wasn't their true cause of death. Instead, they may have perished in a fire-related accident aboard the ship, though no historical records confirm this, adding yet another layer of mystery to their haunting. Whatever the true cause of their deaths, Jack and Terence remain inseparable, their spirits tied together in life and death. Their presence aboard the Queen Mary serves as a testament to their bond and a haunting reminder of the dangers faced by soldiers during wartime. Unlike many of the ship's darker spirits, Jack and Terence's playful energy combined with the strange warmth that follows them makes them one of the most unique ghostly presences aboard the Queen Mary. Are Jack and Terence simply replaying their tragic final moments forever lost to time, or are they actively seeking recognition and remembrance, reaching out to those who visit the ship? One thing is certain, when you feel an unexplained wave of heat in the Queen Mary's first-class pool area, you might not be alone.
Or you ask if the air conditioning is working.
That's right. If it's a hot, humid day that day in the middle of summer in Long Beach.
Among many spirits said to wander the Queen Mary, few are as captivating and graceful as the Lady in White, often called the Queen of the Queen Mary. She is a vision of a timeless elegance, forever lingering in the echoes of the ship's golden era. Draped in an elegant white evening gown, she moves as if she's still alive, reliving the nights of music, dancing, and refinement. Her presence is most often felt in the Queen's Salon, formerly the main lounge, where first-class passengers once waltzed between chandeliers and toasted to the grandeur of the transatlantic luxury. But who was she in life? Why does she remain on the Queen Mary? The true identity of the Lady in White remains unknown, but she is one of the ship's most frequently witnessed spirits. Theories about her origins include a devoted passenger so enchanted by the ship's beauty that she never left, even in death, a socialite, or a performer forever dancing to the melodies of a bygone era, a ghostly imprint, a residual echo of the ship's most glamorous days, replaying endlessly like a ghost masquerade. Whatever the truth is, one thing is for certain. When she appears, it is a sight of breathtaking beauty and mystery. She is often seen dancing alone, gracefully moving to an unheard melody, as if the ship's orchestra still plays for her. Guests have reported hearing a gentle, feminine voice humming, only to find the hallways empty. Unlike the ship's mischievous or sinister spirits, she radiates peace and tranquility, but always disappears when approached. Many believe she has a maternal presence, offering comfort and guidance to Jackie, Sarah, and other childlike spirits aboard the Queen Mary. Her poise and quiet grace make her one of the ship's most cherished spirits, inspiring both awe and reverence among those who encounter her. The Lady in White is not alone. She shares the ship with Jack, Terrence, Jackie, Grumpy, and many others. But why do these spirits still walk the decks of the Queen Mary? There are two leading paranormal theories. Some believe these spirits are merely echoes of the past events, playing out in a never-ending ghostly loop with no awareness of the present. That's residual haunting. Others agree that these ghosts are aware of their surroundings, choosing to remain aboard and interact with visitors. Those are intelligent spirits, as we call them. Perhaps Jack and Terrence never received the recognition for their sacrifice. Perhaps the Lady in White cannot bear to leave the elegance and the romance she once knew. The spirits of the Queen Mary are varied and complex as the ship's own history. Some are playful, some are tragic, and some, like the Lady in White, seem timeless, a lingering symbol of beauty, grace, and nostalgia. Whether she is a lost soul or a ghost memory, her presence is undeniable. She dances through history, a reminder of the ship's glamorous nights, forever caught in a moment too beautiful to fade away. If you ever find yourself in the Queen's salon and the air suddenly feels electric with nostalgia, look closely. You just might see a woman in white dancing alone, lost in a song she can only hear.
Lady in White.
I'd rather hang out with the Lady in White. No offense.
Yeah. Hey, that's right. So good. All right.
That's good.
That was funny. John Henry's origins remain a mystery, but his presence in the green room and boiler room has been well documented by visitors and the paranormal investigators. Whether he was a boiler room engineer who perished in a steam pipe accident, or a construction worker who mysteriously vanished, his active and unpredictable spirit continues to make himself known, especially around women. Is John Henry seeking recognition for a forgotten tragedy, or is he simply one of the many restless souls bound to the Queen Mary's industrial past? Though the details of his life and death remain uncertain, two dominant theories attempt to explain his haunting presence. Some believe John Henry was a boiler room engineer who suffered a gruesome death when a steam pipe burst. The intense heat and pressure could have scalded him instantly, leaving behind a residual imprint of pain and suffering. According to psychic Peter James, John Henry may have been a welder who died mysteriously during the ship's construction. His death may have been covered up, possibly occurring during the Great Depression hiatus when the Queen Mary's construction was temporarily halted. If true, John Henry would be one of the earliest ghosts aboard the ship. Though his origins remain unknown, his paranormal presence is undeniable. John Henry is known for being both interactive and unpredictable, particularly in the green room, a former generator room later used as a dressing room during the ship's boiler room stage era. Some visitors report seeing two glowing eyes watching them from the darkness. Ew. Guests, particularly women, have felt unexpected brushes, playful tugs on clothing, and hair stroking. Heavy steps have been heard in the green room and boiler room, even when no one was there. Investigators have recorded electronic voice phenomena, EVPs, featuring gruff whispers and deep, unsettling laughter. Objects move on their own. Lights flicker. Doors slam shut unexpectedly. Unlike some of the ship's more menacing spirits, John Henry appears to enjoy interacting with guests, though his behavior toward men is noticeably less welcoming. Probably a dude that messed him up. That's why he's like this.
Right.
John Henry's attitude towards visitors varies depending on who he's interacting with. Many female guests report a flirtatious energy, including playful pokes, whispered greetings, and a feeling of being watched. Male visitors often describe feeling of oppressive presence, as if being glared at or pushed away, unexplained cold spots. When John Henry disapproves of someone's presence, an icy chill suddenly fills the room. Does his hostility toward men suggest a tragic betrayal in his life, or does he simply prefer female company? Either way, something's up. John Henry remains one of the most compelling spirits aboard the Queen Mary, deeply connected to its industrial history. Whether he was a hard-working engineer who met a tragic end, or a forgotten welder who lost during construction, his spirit still lingers, reaching out from beyond the veil. Is he simply playing pranks, enjoying the attention, or warning visitors to respect the space he once called home? For those who dare to step into the green room, the answer may reveal itself.
Well, he must have had some up. That's why he doesn't like males.
Yep.
I'm going with your theory on that one.
Yeah.
Simply known as the Dude, this well-dressed and distinguished apparition is one of the Queen Mary's most sophisticated spirits. Unlike the ship's tragic, mischievous entities, the Dude excludes an air of refinement and nostalgia, embodying the luxury and class of the ocean liner's golden age. Is he a reminder of a time when first-class passengers dined in elegance, socialized with the elite, and crossed the Atlantic in unparalleled style? But who was the Dude in life, and why does he still frequent Sir Winston's, the most ship's exclusive dining area? The dude is one of the best dressed spirits aboard the Queen Mary. He is always seen in the top hat and tails, an outfit befitting of a wealthy first-class passenger from the ship's heyday. His presence suggests he was a refined gentleman, possibly a regular traveler who enjoyed the ship's high society culture. His demeanor is calm, pleasant, and entirely unthreatening, making him a favorite among those who encounter him. Unlike restless spirits aboard the ship, the Dude appears to enjoy his afterlife, as if still savoring the luxury he once knew. The Dude is the most frequently seen in Sir Winston's, the ship's upscale restaurant and bar, formerly the first-class Veranda Grill. He often watches guests with a contented smile, appearing briefly in reflections before fading away. He is known for a polite clearing of the throat, as if attempting to gain someone's attention. Witnesses have seen him quietly disappear into the wall in the men's restroom, an area he seems to favor. Unlike playful spirits, Jackie, or gruff entities like Grumpy, the Dude is an observer rather than an instigator, a refined presence who simply exists among the living. The mystery of the Dude's past is as sophisticated as the spirit himself. Some believe he was a wealthy passenger who frequented the Veranda Grill, the Queen Mary's original luxury dining venue before it became Sir Winston's. Others speculate he was a businessman or a socialite drawn to the ship's first-class elegance and transatlantic prestige. Unlike many other spirits aboard, the Dude shows no sign of tragedy or unfinished business, leading some to believe he remains by choice rather than being trapped. His presence is a glimpse into the ship's glamorous past, a time when celebrities, dignitaries, and the world's elite dined, danced, and socialized with grandeur. What sets the Dude apart from the Queen Mary's other spirits is his composed, peaceful energy. He does not startle guests or seek attention through mischievous behavior. Unlike spirits like John Henry or John Pedler, he does not relive a traumatic death. Instead, he appears to enjoy the ambience of the ship. His elegance and charm make him one of the most beloved spirits aboard. When you dine at Sir Winston's, you may have an unseen guest watching over your evening, tipping his hat to the ship's past and the guests who now walk its halls. He does not demand attention. He does not seek to frighten. He is simply there, a spirit of the ship's golden age, forever lingering in quiet sophistication. Interesting. So, the first-class pool area is one of the most active paranormal spots aboard the Queen Mary. Among its ghostly figures, the woman in the bathing suit stands out as one of the most compelling and frequently witnessed spirits. Described as a beautiful young woman in her late 20s or early 30s, she is seen wearing a bathing suit reminiscent of the 1930s. She moves gracefully across the upper and lower levels of the first-class pool, sometimes appearing near the changing room corridor before vanishing. One of the most unsettling yet intriguing signs of her presence is the appearance of wet footprints where no water should be, further fueling speculation about her identity and purpose. But who was she? Was she a glamorous passenger who loved the pool and remains drawn to its beauty? Or did she meet a tragic fate aboard the ship, forever lingering in the space where her life ended? For years, skeptics dismissed her sightings as a product of the Ghosts and Legends tour. That was the one I went on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me talk about this. This is what I was talking about, where I was saying it's craziness. I don't know if it still goes on, but when I was there in 2007, I experienced this Ghosts and Legends tour with a theatrical experience, and I did not care for it. I'd rather have a history about a place and then go from there. I don't need the bells and whistles and all that stuff. So I get it. However, reports of her apparition continued even after special effects were discontinued, leading paranormal investigators to reevaluate her presence as a genuine haunting. Unlike residual hauntings where a spirit is trapped in a loop, she moves with purpose, as if she's aware of her surroundings and tied to the pool's luxurious past. Her repeated incredible sightings suggest she is one of Queen Mary's most enduring spirits, a lingering reminder of the ship's golden age. And unlike the elegance of the woman in the bathing suit, Daniel, the blue boy, is a spirit of sadness and longing. His story is one of mystery and presence, evokes heartache rather than curiosity. Described as a 5 or 6-year-old boy, he is always seen wearing a blue Edwardian-style outfit. His ghostly presence is often felt in such locations as the promenade deck, Piccadilly Square, and the observation bar. Many believe he was a poor immigrant child traveling with his family during the ship's early years. Unlike playful spirits like Jackie, Daniel's presence is heavy with sorrow, as if he is searching for something he can never find. Investigators and guests have captured numerous EVP recordings believed to be Daniel's voice. Cries for his parents have been documented in multiple locations aboard the ship. Witnesses have reported seeing him wandering through the halls, looking lost, only to vanish before their eyes. His unexplained appearances raise unsettling questions. Did Daniel perish aboard the Queen Mary, or is he a ghost remnant of an early times, forever searching for his family? Daniel's wandering sadness and the woman in the bathing suit's wistful elegance offer two very different yet equally haunting tales. Do they remain because they refuse to leave, or because something still ties them to the ship's legacy? One thing I know for certain, if you find yourself on the promenade deck or near the first-class pool, you may not be alone as you think. So true. I've been to all those places on that ship, pretty much.
You went on a decent tour.
I did. I went on a decent tour, and then I went on the ghost tour, so I got all that. But the theatrical stuff, like I said earlier, and then April and there was a Marilyn Monroe thingy, and then we ate breakfast there, so we were able to walk the entire ship if we wanted to.
That's cool. Okay. All right. Few stories tied to the Queen Mary are as haunting and heartbreaking as that of Dana and Penny. Their tale, first revealed by renowned psychic Peter James, who speaks of a father overcome by unexplained distress, leading to one of the most chilling tragedies ever linked to the ship. But is their story fact or legend? And why do so many witnesses continue to encounter their spirits? In 1959, a father traveling with his wife and 2 young daughters checked into room B474. At some point during their stay, he strangled his wife and daughters before turning the gun on himself. His motive remains unknown, speculation and mystery. Unlike many documented tragedies aboard the Queen Mary, this event had no official record, leading skeptics to question whether it truly occurred, or if it is simply an urban legend fueled by paranormal encounters. Yet witnesses and investigators continue to experience chilling encounters with Dana and Penny, suggesting that something still lingers aboard the ship. Despite the tragic deaths, the spirits of Dana and Penny are known for their playful and innocent presence appearing throughout the ship. Dana, who is 4, is seen in multiple locations: the cargo hold, the archive section, and the boiler rooms. Penny, the younger sister, who's 2, is most often encountered alongside Dana in the second-class pool and the Royal Theatre. Witnesses report hearing the girls calling out for their mother, their voices longing their voices are filled with longing and innocence. Many guests and crew members have heard giggles, those wonderful giggles, echoing through empty halls as if the children are unaware of the tragedy that befell them. Some visitors claim to have seen the two little girls holding hands, only to watch them vanish within thin air as they round a corner. Unlike some of the ship's darker hauntings, Dana and Penny's spirits do not appear vengeful or malevolent. They are lost, searching for comfort, unaware of the passage of time. Unlike spirits such as John Pedler or Jackie, the story of Dana and Penny lacks historical verification, making it one of the most debated hauntings aboard the Queen Mary. If their tragic deaths truly occurred, why was it never widely documented? If the event is merely a legend, why do so many guests and investigators claim to have encountered their spirits? Could Dana and Penny's spirits be tied to another tragedy aboard the ship? Their names simply lost in time. The Queen Mary has seen decades of loss and sorrow and unexplained energy. Whether Dana and Penny perished in room B474 or elsewhere, their lingering spirits suggest something remains unresolved. The spirits of Dana and Penny remain one of the Queen Mary's most poignant and unsettling mysteries. Their playful presence and calls for their mother serve as a reminder of the ship's past, the lives lost, and the spirits that refuse to be forgotten. Are they forever trapped in a cycle of innocence and tragedy, or are they simply lost, searching for something they'll never find? One thing is certain. If you ever hear the giggles of two little girls in the corridors, turn around and run the other way. You may not be alone as you think. Yeah.
No, if I hear giggles, I'm not staying.
Yeah.
But I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
They're having trouble with the history of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what if this story was like so tragic, right? Like the guy strangled his wife and kids and killed himself. Sometimes the ship doesn't want that out in the public. So they just keep it under, they don't have any record of it, but it's there, but there's no record of it.
Yeah.
That could be another possible theory, that the Queen Mary didn't want that out there.
No.
And so they kept it hush-hush. But it's possible. Among the many spirits said to roam the Queen Mary, one stands out, not for a tragic past or playful nature, but for a sheer unease he leaves in his wake. Simply known as the Fedora Dude, apparition is unlike any other aboard the ship. While spirits like Jackie and the Lady in White evoke feelings of nostalgia or sorrow, the Fedora Dude brings something more unsettling, a presence that instills dread, nausea, and a sense of danger. With rotting teeth and hollow yellow eyes and an eerie smirk, he's one of the ship's most chilling figures. Who or what is he? Why does his presence leave visitors with an overwhelming sense of terror? First identified by paranormal investigator Bob Davis and his daughter Katrina, the Fedora Dude has become one of the most uniquely terrifying apparitions aboard the Queen Mary. Witnesses describe him as tall and imposing, yellow fedora, a style reminiscent of 1930s, having decayed, rotting teeth.
Those teeth are matching his Zeus. Goodness gracious.
Woo! Okay.
I'm sorry.
Excluding the aura of menace and decay, far removed from the elegance of the spirits like the Dude of Sir Winston's, his origins remain unknown, only deepening the mystery surrounding him. Unlike most spirits who are tied to specific locations, the Fedora Dude is a roaming presence, appearing in public areas of the ship. He is most commonly spotted in the hotel lobby, but has also been seen in the hallways and common spaces. Witnesses seeing him smirking eerily before vanishing down corridors at an impossible speed. Many who see him experience overwhelming sense of dread, with some even reporting nausea or dizziness or a sudden drop of temperature. Unlike playful spirits like Jackie or lost souls like Daniel the Blue Boy, the Fedora seems to deliberately unnerve those who see him. But why? The Fedora Dude's true identity remains a mystery, but several attempts to explain his menacing presence. His loot suit suggests he may have been a wealthy passenger, musician, or someone connected to organized crime during the Queen Mary's transatlantic voyages. Could he have been a criminal who met a violent end aboard the ship? If so, why does his appearance seem so decayed, as if death itself has warped him. Some theorists believe he is not a spirit at all, but rather a manifestation of the Queen Mary's accumulated energy. His decayed teeth and hollow eyes could be symbolic rather than literal, representing death, suffering, and forgotten horrors tied to the ship's history. A malevolent entity? Unlike most spirits aboard Queen Mary, the Fedora Dude seems to thrive on discomfort and fear. Some theorists suggest he was never human at all, but rather something darker, an entity that has attached itself to the ship over time. He does not interact with Jackie, John Pedler, or the Lady in White. His presence is fleeting yet unforgettable. Those who see him remember the encounters for years. Unlike the other spirits bound by the memory or tragedy, Fedora Dude moves with purpose, as if choosing when and where to appear. Could he be tied to a forgotten death aboard the Queen Mary, or is it something entirely different? Fedora Dude defies explanation. His rotting teeth, unnatural eyes, his eerie smirk separate him from the ship's more familiar spirit, making him a true enigma. Is he a former passenger with a dark past, or is he something far worse, an entity that does not belong in the realm of the dead or the living? One thing is for certain, if you ever lock eyes with the Fedora Dude, you will never forget the moment you saw him. There have been reports on ghost shows and stuff, actual people telling their stories, and they have this dude in a fedora hat has chased them down the hall at an impossible speed, just chasing them, and then he'll disappear. It's really creepy.
Yeah, no.
Going from one end of the hallway, they'll see him at the very end, and then all of a sudden you turn around and he's like right there.
No.
Yeah,
I prefer not to have that done to me.
Right.
Winston Churchill's connection to the Queen Mary goes far beyond that of a distinguished passenger. During World War II, the ship became his headquarters at sea, a place where strategy, secrecy, and leadership merged, shaping the fate of the war. Queen Mary was not just a mode of transportation for Churchill, it was a battleground of the mind where critical wartime decisions were made, including one of the most important in history. During the war, Churchill frequently traveled on the Queen Mary, operating under extreme secrecy. He traveled under the codename Colonel Warden to protect his identity. He used the M deck suite and the promenade deck office to conduct high-level military strategy meetings. He signed the orders for D-Day aboard the Queen Mary, making the ship a pivotal location in World War II history. He referred to the ship as his headquarters at sea, underscoring its vital role in the war effort. Churchill passed away in 1965, but many believe his presence never truly left the Queen Mary. Unlike the ship's tragic hauntings, Churchill's presence is one of legacy, leadership, and duty. Guests frequently smell cigar smoke in areas associated with Churchill, despite the ship being a non-smoking environment. His former suite, now the Churchill Suite, his war office, and Sir Winston's restaurant are key locations where this phantom scent lingers. Some visitors and staff have reported hearing the sounds of pacing footsteps and faint murmurs as if Churchill is still deep in thought, wrestling with wartime decisions. In the Churchill Suite and along the promenade deck, guests have reported abrupt temperature drops, leading to some to believe his presence is strongest in these areas. Unlike the ship's other well-known hauntings, Churchill's presence does not appear to be one of tragedy or distress, but rather a lingering imprint of leadership and duty. Winston Churchill was a giant of history, and his footprint aboard the Queen Mary is undeniable. His phantom cigar smoke, pacing footsteps, and lingering energy serve as a haunting reminder of his wartime struggles and leadership. Does Churchill still walk the promenade deck, contemplating decisions that shaped the world? Or is the Queen Mary simply echoing the past, preserving the weight of history in its very walls? One thing is certain, if you ever catch the unmistakable scent of cigar smoke drifting through the Queen Mary's corridors, you may be closer to Churchill's legacy than you realize.
That's so nuts. When I stepped aboard Queen Mary, I had no idea that Winston Churchill signed the orders for D-Day on there. That was kind of neat.
I'm just learning all kinds of stuff.
Me too. I'm like, wow.
That's kind of cool, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That really is. Some captains sell many ships, but not for Captain John Treasure Jones. No vessel was as important as the Queen Mary. As the final captain to command her across the Atlantic, he was the one who brought her home to Long Beach, California, ensuring that she would be preserved as a maritime legend. Even decades after his passing, many believe he truly never left his beloved ship. Does Captain Jones still watch over the Queen Mary, ensuring she remains safe in her retirement? Or is his spirit simply a reflection of dedication and love he had for her in life? Captain John Treasure Jones was more than just a final master of the Queen Mary. He was a veteran seafarer, a respected leader, and a man devoted to his ship. Spent 47 years at sea, building a reputation for professionalism and excellence. Served as the Queen Mary's final captain from 1965 to 1967. Commanded her last transatlantic journey, bringing her to Long Beach, where she would begin her new chapter. Spoke fondly of the ship throughout his life, never losing his deep admiration for her. For a man so closely tied to Queen Mary, it is no surprise that many believe his spirit remains aboard, watching over the vessel he once commanded. Since his passing, visitors and crew members have reported frequent sightings of Captain Jones' ghost in key locations throughout the ship. Many have seen a figure in Concord captain's uniform, standing at the helm as if still in command. The promenade deck, a distinguished man in a captain's uniform has been spotted gazing out to sea as if still longing for open waters. His former captain's quarters, staff members have reported a scent of phantom cigar smoke, a signature of Captain Jones. The propeller box, some have seen his apparition inspecting the ship as though ensuring that she remains seaworthy. Unlike some of the more tragic spirits aboard the Queen Mary, Captain Jones's presence is described as calm, watchful, and protective, a true guardian of the ship. Captain Jones was the last man to command the Queen Mary across the Atlantic, and many believe he still stands watch. One thing is certain, if you ever smell cigar smoke drifting through the captain's ship corridors or catch a glimpse of a captain in uniform gazing at the sea, you may be in the presence of Captain Jones, the eternal guardian of the Queen Mary. Interesting.
Very good. What are shadow people? Candi, do you know?
Kind of.
Well, we're going to all learn together. Shadow people are among the most debated phenomena in the paranormal world. Unlike full-bodied apparitions, shadow people appear as dark humanoid silhouettes, often lacking facial features or defining characteristics. Some are described as smoky, shimmering, or oily in appearance, shifting unnaturally as they move. Some appear to wear distinctive clothing such as cloaks, hats, or business suits, while others are amorphous, shifting masses. Witnesses report seeing them lurking in hallways, vanishing into walls, or moving with unnatural speed. Unlike traditional ghosts, which are often connected to specific events or locations, shadow people seem to be something else entirely, their purpose unknown and their presence deeply unnerving. There is no single explanation for shadow people, but paranormal researchers and investigators have proposed several theories. Some believe shadow people are simply another form of ghosts, appearing as dark silhouettes rather than full-bodied apparitions. The Queen Mary's tragic history and high spiritual energy may have caused certain spirits to manifest differently, lacking the clear form of traditional ghosts. Another theory suggests shadow people are not ghosts at all, but rather entities from another dimension that momentarily become visible due to the unique energy of the ship. Could the Queen Mary act as a portal, allowing glimpses into another realm? Some who encounter shadow people report paralyzing fear, unlike the eerie but often neutral nature of ghost sightings. A small number of reports suggest aggressive behavior, such as shadow figures lunging at witnesses or emitting an overwhelming sense of dread. This has led some to speculate that certain shadow figures may not be spirits at all, but rather malevolent entities drawn to the ship's dark history. Could the Queen Mary's past, marked by war, tragedy, and death, have attracted something darker, shadow people are not confined to a single location aboard the Queen Mary. They are among the most widespread paranormal entities reported on the ship. Guests and crew members have reported tall, featureless figures standing motionless at the end of corridors, disappearing the moment they are approached. Shadowy shapes have been spotted lurking near railings as if watching something unseen. Some figures vanish into walls, leaving behind only a lingering sense of unease. Unlike traditional ghosts, shadow people do not seem to interact with the living. Instead, they appear to be watching, their intent unknown. Are they aware of us, or are we simply catching a glimpse of something that was never meant to be seen? The Queen Mary has long been considered a paranormal beacon, and there are several theories as to why shadow people are so frequently reported aboard. The history of tragedy and death. The Queen Mary has witnessed war, death, and unexplained tragedies, creating an intensely charged atmosphere where energy may linger, a magnet for paranormal activity. With so many well-documented ghosts aboard, some believe the ship has become a beacon for paranormal entities, attracting energies beyond just human spirits. A possible gateway. Some researchers theorize that the Queen Mary's layers of history and immense spiritual energy have created a gateway, a place where the boundaries between worlds are thin. Could shadow people be something entirely different from ghosts, something we are not meant to understand? Shadow people are one of Queen Mary's greatest mysteries. Unlike spirits with known backstories, shadow people exist without explanation, appearing and disappearing in an instant, leaving behind only fear and speculation. Are they lost souls struggling to take form, or are they something else, watching us from the darkness, waiting for reasons unknown? If you ever see a dark figure standing motionless at the end of a corridor, watching but never approaching.
I think I've encountered a few of those shadow figures before.
Yeah.
They're just like normal shadows. Like, sometimes you see things out of the corner of your eye and it looks like a black, that's it. Or like, it's really quick. It's just like a shadow you would see, but it moves really fast. I've had my fair share of that. So.
I mean, if they're not bothering us, it's almost like two places at once. We can see them, but they can't see us.
Right. We reached the end of our journey through the haunted halls of the Queen Mary. But for those still aboard, the night never ends. Are these spirits truly trapped, or do they choose to stay, reliving their most powerful moments over and over? One thing is certain, if you ever find yourself aboard the Queen Mary, keep your eyes open, your voice low, and your senses sharp, because you might not be alone. Don't forget to subscribe to Half Haunted for more deep dives into history and the supernatural. If you enjoy these explorations of haunted places, leave us a review. Help us continue unraveling mysteries of the world's most haunted locations. Until next time, stay curious and stay haunted.